Hello viewers. So in this video we are going to be looking at the past multi-baggers of India. We'll be analyzing those companies, we'll be seeing what are the similarities, what are the qualities of the multi-bagger and how we can use that knowledge to identify the future multi-baggers, right? So I have picked up 5 companies, which is first one is Hindustan Unilever, Eicher Motor, TCS, Reliance, Asian Paint. So all these 5 companies are from different categories. Hindustan Unilever is a FMCG company, Eicher is automotive company, TCS belongs to software, Reliance is a conglomerate, and Asian Paint belongs to a chemical sector. So these are the 5 companies which are one of the India's biggest multi-baggers, and they belong to different sectors. So we'll be using them, we'll be analyzing the qualities. These are the 10 parameters which I have already sorted out, and we'll be comparing that. So the base year for this research, if you would like to call it that, then the base year is 2010. From 2010 to 2020, on this 10-year period, Nifty 50 has given us 8% compound return. Okay, so let's first have a look at the companies and how they have performed compared to Nifty 50 on a 10-year level. So Hindustan Unilever has given us 24.5% return compounded annually on the 10-year level. Eicher has given us 41.5% return, which is huge. Eicher is also known as India's one of the biggest multi-bagger. TCS has given us 18.8%, Reliance 14.7%, Asian Paint has given us 24% return in the past 10 years. Now what you will notice is that all these companies have given you higher return than Nifty 50, almost double than the index. So the major motive, the major intention behind investing in individual stocks and buying individual companies is the same, that is to generate higher return than the index itself. So this should be your goal. Your goal should be to generate higher return compared to the Nifty 50. Okay, so let's have a look. First parameter is return on equity. So let's check. Now our first company is Hindustan Unilever. We'll be comparing 10-year figures. So the return on equity of Hindustan Unilever is 82.81%. Can you see that? 82.81%. It is great. It is huge. Generally what is considered is return on equity greater than 20 or 25% is huge, but Hindustan Unilever has a return on equity than 82.81%, which is great. If you look at Eicher Motors, then the return on equity on 10-year period is 82%. TCS on a 10-year level has return on equity of 36%. Reliance Industries has return on equity of 11.66%, and Asian Paints has return on equity of 30.28%. So if you look carefully, all of the companies except Reliance have return on equity greater than 25%. Okay, now why Reliance has low return on equity? So not only in this parameter, but Reliance will always stand out as an exception in all the parameters, and the reason is the greater market capitalization. If you look at the market capitalization of Reliance, then it is 12,32,421 crore rupees. So Reliance is a huge company. We don't even call it as a company, it is an industry itself. Reliance is a industry itself. So that's the reason the high market capitalization of the company makes it difficult to generate higher return on equity or profit growth or sales growth, because we are comparing it with the size of the company. But when we look at the numerical figures, then we realize how big Reliance is and how great the profit figures are. Okay, so in most of our research, Reliance will stand out as an exception. Next is sales growth. Now we'll be starting sales growth with Asian Paints. Sales growth of most of the companies, most potential multi-bagger companies generally is greater than 10%. So Asian Paints sales growth is 13.91%. Reliance Industry compounded sales growth on a 10-year basis is 11.36%. TCS has a sales growth of 17.98, almost 18%. Eicher Motor has a sales growth of 19% on a 10-year level, and Hindustan Unilever has a sales growth of 8.41%. Again, in the category of sales growth, Hindustan Lever falls down. I told you that there will be exceptions in each and every category, in each and every parameter. So in the sales growth parameter, Hindustan Unilever falls short. The reason is the kind of sales they are making, the kind of strategy they are employing, that the numbers will seem huge if you look here on a yearly basis. The sales is 6,748 crore in the latest quarter, so which is a huge number. So even 8% sales growth in this size is a huge number. Okay, so the sales growth should be generally greater than 10%. So Hindustan Unilever is an exception here, but for you to find out future multi-baggers, you should not look at companies with sales growth lower than 10%, but you should look at the companies which have sales growth greater than 10%, right? So let's move on. Third category, the third parameter, if you call it, is profit growth. We'll be starting with Hindustan Unilever. The compounded profit growth on a 10-year level is 12.67%. Now the potential future multi-baggers, or most of the multi-baggers, should have compounded profit growth greater than 15% on a 10-year level. This is a must. So Hindustan Unilever is an exception here, but it is not that the compounded profit growth is very low. The profit growth is neither low neither exceptional, it is average, right? So let's move on to Eicher Motor. Compounded profit growth of Eicher Motor is 47.39%. I just told you profit growth should be somewhere near 15%. So this is how outstanding profit growth of Eicher Motors. If you look at TCS, then the compounded profit growth is 16.72. Reliance has a compounded profit growth of 9.71%. So Hindustan Unilever and Reliance Industries have lower compounded profit growth. These two will generally keep on repeating as an exception. The reason is the size of these companies. If you look at Hindustan Unilever also, then the size of the company is 5,22,493 crore rupees. So the market capitalization is in trillion, 5 trillion rupees, and Reliance is 12 trillion. So when you are comparing the digits in trillion, then even 8% or 1% growth is of high value. That's why they are coming as an exception, but that does not mean that they are underperforming. They are performing very well compared to the size. Now for you, as a guide, what you should do is, if you are looking at small cap, mid cap companies, or even large cap companies, then you should generally look for companies with compounded sales growth greater than 10% and compounded profit growth greater than 15%. But if you are looking at extra large cap companies like Hindustan Unilever or Reliance Industries, then even 8% or 10% profit growth is a great number. Okay. Now if you look at Asian Paints, then the compounded profit growth on a 10-year period is greater than 15%, which is 18.44%. So you can see the numbers and what are the similarities between these multi-baggers. Next is operating profit margin, OPM. Now we'll be starting with Asian Paints. On a year on basis, what you will notice is this chart we have from March 2008 to March 2019. So if you look at the operating profit margin, then you will see that the operating profit margin of most of the multi-bagger companies is improving year by year. So in March 2008, the operating profit margin of Asian Paint was 16%, but by the year 2019, the operating profit margin has improved and it is 18%, and it was 20% in the year 2017. So the OPM is improving year by year, and you will notice the same thing in Reliance as well. Here is the yearly profit margin. So in the March 2019 quarter or the year, the operating profit margin was 15%, and from there it reduced to 8%, 10%, some of the dark days of the companies, and now it is still maintained at 15%. So neither decline, neither fall. So the operating profit margin is stagnant, which is, with the size of Reliance, it is a great number. But if you look at 2018, then the operating profit margin, as our rule dictates, the operating profit margin had improved. It was reported at 16%. Tata Consultancy Service, the operating profit margin was 23% in 2009, and in the March 2020, the operating profit margin has come to 27%. So the operating profit margin has increased by 4%. So the consistent improvement in the operating profit margin is a sign that tells you that this company is improving. It is increasing its efficiency and increasing its profits. If you look at Eicher Motors, then the operating profit margin was 5% in 2008, and now in the March 2019, the operating profit margin is almost 30%. So from 5% to 30%, it is increased by 25%. I just told you that Eicher Motor is India's one of the biggest multi-bagger, and the improving profit margin is one of the signs which could have told you even in 2010 or 2011 that the company is going to be a future multi-bagger. So the consistent increase in the operating profit margin is the one thing you should be noticing every time. If you look at Hindustan Unilever, then the operating profit margin was only 12% in 2009, and in the March 2020, the operating profit margin is 25%. So again, this is a sign which tells you that the company should keep on increasing the OPM year by year, right? Next is the debt. Now, just like operating profit, it should increase consistently year by year. Similarly, debt should decrease year by year. Let's have a look at the debt, the borrowing. Now, Hindustan Lever had debt of 434 crore rupees in 2009, and it is now zero. So the debt has been reduced and it is almost zero in March 2020. There is no long-term debt on this company. So the debt should keep on decreasing, not increasing. OPM should increase, debt should decrease every year. So Hindustan Unilever has shown a sign that it is decreasing the debt. If you look at Eicher Motor, then the debt was in 2008 220 crore rupees, and in March 2020 the debt is 249 crore rupees. But if you look at the glorious years, the best years of Eicher Motors, the 2016 and 2017, then the debt was 23 crore. So from 220 crore rupees to 23 crore, the company had made efforts to reduce the debt. But from 2017, we all know what is happening in the motor sector. The whole motor automotive industry is facing a turmoil and is in a crisis like situation. So this is the reason which has caused Eicher Motor to increase debt on its balance sheet. But if you look on a larger period, then you will see that the company had made efforts to decrease the borrowings. Next is TCS. Again, if you look at TCS, then the borrowing was in the March 2019 564 crore rupees, and in the March 20 the borrowing is 6,906 crore rupees. So this is a dark period, so we'll leave March 20. But if you look from March 2009 to March 2019, just accurately 10 years, then you will see that the debt was only 62 crore rupees. So the company had made every effort to reduce the debt on year level. So this is the major sign which tells you that the company is improving. But Reliance will turn out to be an exception here, because Reliance is an industry itself. To keep functioning, to keep running the business, they have to incur debt. So the borrowing was in March 2019 76,000 crore rupees, and now in March 2020 the borrowing is 3,55,000. But if you have heard the recent news by Mr. Ambani, then he had announced that he will be making Reliance Industries net debt free by 2021. So the time is yet to come. We do not know whether they have really reduced the debt, but we will see that in the upcoming future. But you should understand this, that the major turnaround is caused by the debt. It can lead to downfall or to the uprise. So debt plays a very important role. It is like a two-way sword. You can use it to cut your enemy, or you can use it to cut yourself. So Reliance Industries is a very good example. They have used their debt very efficiently. They have used that debt as a sword to cut their competition, not to cut themselves. So this kind of debt is positive, it's not negative. We have seen the revolution caused by Jio, and how Idea and Vodafone, Airtel, they were turned down. They faced heavy competition. So this is the power of debt. So if the company which you have selected is having debt, then you should notice and understand. You should analyze what's the reason about the debt and how they are using that debt. But apart from that, most of the companies keep on reducing the debt in the long run. So now we are looking at Asian Paint. So in March 2008 the debt was 275 crore rupees, and from there it tried to reduce the debt. In March 2014 it was 249, not a huge fall in the debt, but it was reduced. But then again it started piling up debt, and now it has come to 1104 crore rupees of debt. But the debt has not gone up significantly. It is a normal level compared to the market capitalization. If you look here, the market capitalization of Asian Paint is 1,63,000 crore rupees. So just 1,000 crore rupees debt is not something huge on their balance sheet. Okay, so the debt, first of all, is that it should be reduced consistently, and if it is not reduced, then the company should have that level, have that management to use that debt efficiently, because debt is not something bad. It can be used both ways, right? Next is market share. So if you look at these companies wholly, then you will realize that these companies have a competitive advantage compared to their peers. Asian Paint has a market share of almost 60% in the paint industry. Reliance has a market share in various businesses. We all know Jio has a greater market share in the telecom industry. Its only major competitor is Airtel right now. And here if you look at TCS, then in the IT sector, TCS is one of the giants in the IT sector, in the software industry, or in the business processing industry. Eicher Motors again has a great market share in the heavy vehicles, the trucks and all, and the Royal Enfield, the two-wheeler, which has a significant market share. If you look at Hindustan Unilever, then the wide range of products gives it a high moat, a higher market share in the industry which they are operating. So this is the main parameter which you should look for, that the company you are investing should have a high moat, it should have an edge over its competitors, it should have a greater market share. Next is regular dividend. So all these companies which have turned out to be multi-bagger, initially they did not give dividend, but as the companies progress and become stable, then they start rewarding their shareholders. So the major sign of the company should be that it should give regular dividend. It does not bother whether it is giving you dividend of 0.4% or 0.5% or 2% or 3%. What matters is regular dividend. Even if it is not giving it now, doesn't matter, but in the future years it should give its dividend, because that's the major reason for any investor to invest in a company. So Hindustan Unilever has a dividend yield of 1.12%. Eicher Motor has a dividend yield of 0.64%. TCS has a dividend yield of 1.48%. Reliance Industries has dividend yield of 0.35%. Asian Paint has dividend yield of 0.70. Most important is all these companies are a regular dividend paying companies. Okay, so that's a major sign for you to identify a future multi-bagger, is that they should be able to give regular dividend to their customers. But this should be on the last side, it should be the last point to consider. Dividend should not be the first point while considering making any investment in XYZ company. So after regular dividend, next is investments. Now if you look at all these companies which have turned out to be multi-bagger, then you will notice one thing in common, is that they make huge investments on their balance sheet. They keep on using the existing cash which is not paid out as dividend, then they use that cash to increase the market share, increase the machinery, to increase the business. They set up franchises or they buy another businesses. So if you look at Asian Paint, then the investments have increased. So March 2008 the investments were only 277 crore rupees, but in the March 2020 the investments have gone up by almost 10%, 10 times, that is 2000 crore rupees. So on a year basis the investment should keep on increasing. The company should keep on making investments and should keep on using that cash instead of keeping it in the bank account or in a liquid asset. So here again you can see this is Reliance Industries. It had 6,400 crore rupees of investments, and in the latest quarter March 2020, in the latest year, the investments have are 2,76,767 crore rupees. So you can see the amount of investment Reliance Industries have made. We know they have invested in Jio Savan, they have invested in the Reliance Retail, they have invested in the JioChat, JioZoom. They are entering into the space of IT and data. So this tells you that the company is willing to allocate its capital intelligently, and this rewards the shareholder in the long run. If you look at TCS, then you will see the same story. The investments are expected to keep on increasing. In March 2009 the investments were 1,614 crore rupees, and in March 20 the investments are 26,356 crore rupees. So you can see that a consistent increase in the investments is seen there. Next is Eicher Motors. It will also tell you same story. All these companies will tell you the same story. March 2008 had only 261 crore rupees as investment, and now in 2020 the investment is 5,700 crore rupees. You can see it here that the investments are increasing consistently every year. Hindustan Unilever had investments of 288 crore rupees in 2009, and in 2020 investments have reached at 1255 crore rupees. So yes, investment should keep on increasing consistently every year. Now you should just learn this, how to say, you should just learn these things. You should should know just by seeing the balance sheet whether this company is going to be multi-bagger or not. And these are very simple things. First is that the borrowing should keep on decreasing, investment should keep on increasing, operating profit should keep on increasing. So that's how simple it is. You should just look at the balance sheet and you should be able that yes, this company has the future, this company has that ability to become a future multi-bagger. Let's look at another thing. Another parameter is promoter holding. Now all these companies have strong promoter holding. Strong promoter holding is a must. Now I think I'll have to log in here. Just let me just pause this video. I'll log in and we'll resume the video and we'll look at the promoter holding. Well, I think we can see promoter holding without logging. Yeah, here. So in the shareholding pattern, you can see at Hindustan Unilever's promoter holding pattern that the promoter holding is 67%. In Eicher Motors, the promoter holding is 49%. I just told you that promoter holding should be strong. It should be greater than 40 or 50%. Let's have a look at TCS. Promoter holding is 72%. Reliance Industries, I think it has a promoter holding of 50%. Yes, right. Asian Paint, it has a promoter holding of 52%. So the common thing here is that most of the companies which have turned out to be multi-bagger have promoter holding greater than 50%, 50%. Okay, so this is another thing which you should have it on your checklist. Last thing is the free cash flow. This is a very important parameter. Even Warren Buffett has stressed it in most of his lectures, in most of his interviews, that the company should have free cash flow, net cash flow. So let's see whether multi-bagger companies, Indian multi-bagger companies have that free cash flow. So here is the cash flow statement. If you look at the net cash flow, then you can see that all these companies have a strong net cash flow. Net cash flow is also called as free cash flow, which the company can use it on its own. It can either give it as a dividend, or it can reinvest it, or it can give it as a bonus, whatever it wishes to do with that amount. So net cash flow should be there and it should be positive. It is great if the net cash flow is increasing year on year level. If it increases on year level, then it is again a great sign. So let's see net cash flow. See again here, the net cash flow of Eicher Motor is positive. TCS has a net positive cash flow. Reliance, it also has a net positive cash flow. Asian Paint also has a positive net cash flow. So this is the major thing. All these companies, or whatever companies you are looking at, they should have these 10 parameters. It is not a formula, just a simple checklist which you should have when looking at the companies. And if you get a tick mark on each and every checklist, then chances are that you have found out a multi-bagger. But don't just be dependent on these patterns, don't just be dependent on these parameters. There are lots of other things to consider, but I have narrowed down to these 10 points which are essential, which are must when investing in any XYZ company. So if you have this, if you have understood this lecture, then hit a like, and if you haven't subscribed, then please do subscribe so you can get latest updates about my videos. Also, if you have any doubts regarding this video or any other video, you can comment it in the below section. So that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.